Is there truth? Yes or no?
Survey said.
That are coming out of my mouth? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Good evening, everyone. We will start in just a minute. And good evening. We are here. We are live. And yes, I am here on camera. Good to see everybody. Welcome to the show, the Coach Dave Show, aka Late Night with Coach Dave. All right. Well, a couple of changes on tonight's show. We start out with the phone number to see who wants to come in, who wants to call now. Call now. All right. So if you want to be on the show, you want your opinion heard, call now. And I see that we have Periscope going, and Periscope is actually working. If I say hi on Periscope, at least last time It came in right to the chat window. So sometimes Periscope is working, sometimes it's not. Let's see if we can just reload the page. And if we want, we can actually talk about something. This show is titled, Let's Talk About It. Let's talk about it. And so Periscope, let's see if you're working. If not, we just go ahead and move on to the next thing. The next thing is, let's talk about it. What do you want to talk about, you guys? Let's talk about something that's happening that's real in our lives. And that can be in the news. It can be in politics. It can be in sports. It can be the fact that if you're in the NBA, you need to be quiet. Need to be quiet about China. You can say all you want as long as you don't say it on social media where China can read it. Okay? And a couple of people have gotten in trouble. A couple of people have gone on there, been forced to go on there and erase their tweets. Get rid of that tweet because it says something that your employers, China, everybody in the NBA, I don't know if you knew this, they're employed by China. Okay, so don't say anything about China, even though they might have human rights violations, even though they might have some other stuff going wrong. If you're in the NBA, that could be your paycheck. I don't know if you knew that. So especially if you are the general manager, I think it's the Houston Rockets. I'm not sure if that's the name of the NBA team. Pretty sure it's Houston, though. The GM of Houston said something about freeing Hong Kong, something like that. And right away, China said, oh no, you don't. No. We're going to shut off your broadcasts in our country that has 1.5 billion fans of the NBA. And right away, the NBA said, our feeds are gone over there, guys. What'd you do? And they found out that the GM of the Houston team got on Twitter, got to be a loudmouth. Now, when your employer is on Twitter and you say something bad on Twitter about your employer, figure that that's going to affect you. Now, if you're a citizen, if you're somebody who is not employed by Twitter, aka TRUMP, also known as POTUS, say whatever you want on Twitter and let everybody else bellyache about it. That's my motto. Say what you want. Twitter's for the public. If you're a member of the public, unless it's your employer that's going to be reading that. If I was employed by IBM Corporation and I came on Twitter and I said, IBM Corporation is a bunch of crap and you couldn't pay me to stay working there, you know what? I wouldn't be working there anymore. Guaranteed, I would get a little text message, a little notification, a little hashtag nasty note from IBM Corporation saying, you might not have oughta said that. What are you doing? And then my job is at risk. So, if your job is at risk, if your job is held by the good hands of somebody on Twitter who's going to see what you tweet, you best not oughta say anything bad about that employer, aka China if you're the NBA. You can't say anything about China if you're the NBA, okay? They got too many people there. They got too many fans there. They got 1.5 billion fans that they can just turn that feed right off. They turned off a couple of, I'm not sure if they were just season games, regional games, playoff games, what they were, but they turned the feed off. and bada boom, bada bing. You're done. As a friend of mine used to say, Carl used to say, you're burnt. So don't get burnt. Social media, use it responsibly. Don't use it to say MF. Mommy, what's an MF? Don't use it to go out there and bellyache and say you're MFing right, to MF and call that MFer an MF. Come on. Don't you have any more sense than that? Would you gather your children up and say, now, let me tell you an MFing story, kids. Let me tell you about the MF that was on the MF of the MFing MF. No. God gave you one of these. I hope he did. If he did, please use it responsibly. Like driving a car through a crowd of people, you're using the car, you're just not using it responsibly. So guys, I want you to use things responsibly. Speaking of which, I would like you to tell me, hey Melissa, what's going on? Melissa's over there on Facebook. I would like you guys to tell me, if you could, does this microphone sound all right? Because I took the filter off of it. And the reason I did that is because it was causing this weird delay thing going on. And so I don't have the filter going on it anymore. And the delay is a whole lot less. I don't have to have my monitor doing weird things in my ear, which I've also turned down. So let's talk about it. What do you want to talk about? Sounds good. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. What do you guys want to talk about? I have a phone number up there. Let me see if I can make it more obvious. Here's the more obvious phone number. That is tonight's phone number. And that number is the same number in the red strip down here, but you can see that a little better. It's kind of like in the way. If I put my head up here, it's like almost in the way. So that's the number you can call. And Betty, how's it going? I see you over there on YouTube. Everybody, there's Betty over there. So what do you guys want to talk about? We could talk about politics. That's kind of a heavy subject. You can only talk about that for a couple minutes. And then all of a sudden, things get really wacky and people do things that really don't even make sense. So that's probably not the best idea, but we could do it for a little bit. You want to talk about some other news? I was just mentioning a minute ago that if your employer is China, don't tweet Free Hong Kong on Twitter, because your employer, if you're in the NBA, your employer is China. I don't know if you know this. 1.5 billion people in China own you because they're viewers and you're the entertainment. China shut off the NBA. I don't know how many games, but I know there were either some regional or whatever you call them, playoff games that were not shown, that caused sponsors to lose advertising, to lose visual notice in China. And I don't know how many people in China purchase things from those sponsors of the NBA, but they like to have their ads seen. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They pay the advertising dollars to have their ads put on there where eyeballs will read them and see them and hear them. So China shut the NBA off for a little while, and China said, no, 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 no. Don't talk about human freedom. Don't talk about us being humane. Don't talk about anything having to do with our government style. None of that, because we own you. You the NBA, we the boss. You the NBA down here, we the boss. Okay, just saying. So if your boss is on Twitter and monitoring it and might see your tweets, don't say, boss, you suck. Now, if you're a free individual and you have Twitter and you want to tweet some stuff, hashtag this, so-and-so rep that, t-shirt this, whatever, and people don't like it and they want to cry in their beer, go ahead and tweet it if you want to. It's a free country. Tweet it. A lot of people don't like Donald J. Trump's tweets. That's okay. That's okay. It's a free country. Tweet what you want, Donald. Go ahead. Stir the pot. And so that's news and politics all in one. Hey, do you guys think Hillary's coming back? Shh. I didn't really say that. Do you think Hillary's coming back? I don't know. Some people do. All right, so what are we on here for? You see that number up above me there? That's why we're here. You see this blue area below me? Famous talk show host. I, Dave Brown, am hosting this number up here for you to call. Call the number. When you get in, after you've pressed the PIN number, pressed pound, *6, put you in the queue, and we answer the questions in the queue one by one by one. We don't have any compulsion about answering the questions. And I'm going to see if Periscope's waking up. I know, I keep going on this Periscope thing. I just would like to see it show up once. It doesn't like to, but that's okay. So this is a talk show. And if we don't have anyone in the queue, it's kind of a laid-back talk show. All right, I'm going to show you what it looks like when no one's in the queue. Okay? All right, so hang on. Don't go away. And that's it. That's what it looks like. So this is Late Night with Coach Dave. We're 20 minutes roughly. I think I started 5 minutes late. We're 15 minutes into it. And did you guys notice the glasses? They don't make me look like an alien anymore. So that's a good thing. What we did was we removed the lenses so that there was nothing for it to flash off of. You believe me? Good. I'm glad you don't believe me. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. This was entitled, Let's Talk About It. This was, Let's Talk About It. There's my tweet. Let's get unstuck and hashtag Coach Dave Show. If you tweet that and then a question, it'll just show up on my screen. Just like this one. Just like this one. And just like this one. There we go. So that shows up on the screen really nice. And we're going to go ahead back to here. All right. So rather than bore you all, rather than make you wonder what's going on, I'm just going to leave my talk show screen with the color bars. I'm going to leave that on for a couple of minutes. And if there's nobody else that wants to go in the queue for some discussion on the talk show, see down there, famous talk show host, got a host, Gotta have talk to have the show. So we're just going to see when people are interested in talking on the talk show. We'll do a little bit more. But tonight, it's just about the news. Have you guys had anything great happen this week? I mean, we are in the middle of the week, right? And it's usually hump day where something interesting starts to develop. If not for the week, definitely for the weekend. Like, my week is more than half over. I have 1.5 days left this week. So I'm going to go ahead and be happy about that. And then if it comes down to, I might just have to take a trip over to a friend's house and just say, hey, let's do something. It's past the middle of the week. Let's do something. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go over to that screen where we've got that wonderful color bars thing. And we're going to see if we can get some people on the line, ask some questions, and then we'll have a question and answer session. All right, so let's try this for a few minutes. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Is there truth? Yes or no? Is there truth? Yes or no?
Survey said.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
And welcome back. It looks like a friend of mine was on Periscope, tried to be seen, tried to say hi. Couldn't see you over there. It's a good thing you went to the other platform and said hey to me over there, because then I can see it. Turns out that Restream and Periscope are not the best friends, but that's okay, because stuff happens. We know that stuff happens, and Restream sometimes, well, let's be honest here, quite often does not bring Periscope into play very well. There's only 2 places on Facebook where you can catch me and actually have it appear here on the show. One is my Dave Brown Coach page, and the other one is my Dave Brown personal page. Actually, profile page. So if you look at me on my profile page, you can be seen here. And if you want others to see your comments, you can come in on Twitch, YouTube, or tweet me with the hashtag Coach Dave Show. Hashtag Coach Dave Show. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. We've spent enough time talking about talking. So if there's more for tomorrow, come back, see us, talk with us, be on the show. And I do have a queue waiting for you. All right. We'll talk to you later. God bless, guys. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.